The first sign I saw said Exit 44, Merritt Falls, 2 miles. That was on Wednesday night, around 11. I remember because I'd just eaten a gas station sandwich and was thinking about how bad it tasted. And then I looked up and felt better because Merritt Falls had a Motel 6 where I'd stayed before, and the shower pressure was good. I never reached Exit 44. The sign appeared again at the 2-mile mark, then again, then nothing. No ramp, no turnoff. Just the highway continuing straight into the dark like a sentence with no period. And me in the cab of the Peterbilt with 60,000 pounds of frozen chicken behind me and a delivery window I was already going to miss. I told myself I'd passed it, blinked at the wrong moment. Happens on long hauls. I kept driving. Day 1, approximate 11:40 p.m. My name is Cal Rourke. I'm 43 years old. I've been driving long haul for 19 years, Chicago to the coast and back so many times that I can feel the highway's rhythm in my spine when I sleep. I know Route 9. I've driven Route 9 maybe 400 times. Route 9 is 91 miles long. It has 14 exits. I have driven it now for 3 days, and I have not found a single one. I'm writing this in the cab during what I think is my second night. The dashboard clock stopped working sometime around hour 6. My phone has no signal, hasn't since around exit 44, which I never reached. The GPS lost satellite, and then the screen just went gray, and when I tapped it, it said recalculating in that calm robot voice and never stopped. It's still recalculating. I can hear it whispering it every few minutes if the cab goes quiet enough. Recalculating, recalculating, recalculating. The fuel gauge is the strangest part. It hasn't moved. I filled the tank in Harlan at 8:30 Wednesday evening. A full tank gets me roughly 600 miles. I should have run dry sometime Thursday morning, but the needle sits right where I left it, just below the 3/4 mark, and it hasn't dropped a millimeter. I've checked it every hour. Every hour it looks back at me the same way, patient, indifferent, like it knows something I don't. Day 1, approximate 2 a.m. The radio came on by itself. I hadn't touched it. I'd turned it off hours before because the static was giving me a headache, and I was just driving in silence watching the centerline markers tick past, white, gap, white, gap, when suddenly the speakers filled with a man's voice, mid-sentence, calm as a newsreader. I suggest the driver reduce speed. There is no need to panic. You are on a monitored stretch. Remain in your lane. Do not attempt to exit the vehicle while in motion. Remain in your lane. The driver of the Peterbilt license plate. It said my plate number, correctly, all 7 digits. I reached over and snapped the radio off. My hand was shaking. I pressed hard on the power button and held it, and the voice cut out mid-word, and the cab went quiet, except for the engine and the wind and the sound of my own breathing. Then, very softly, from inside the dashboard, recalculating. I drove faster. Day 2, estimated 6 a.m. Dawn came, or something that looked like dawn. The sky ahead of me lightened from black to a deep purple gray, and the road appeared more clearly, and I could see that it was absolutely straight and absolutely empty in both directions. No other cars, not one. In 19 years of night driving, I have never been on a major highway for more than 20 minutes without seeing another vehicle. I had been alone on this road for what I estimated was 7 hours. The landscape on either side was dark scrub and fence line, nothing unusual, the same Route 9 topography I'd driven hundreds of times. But there were no lights anywhere on the horizon, no farmsteads, no water towers, no orange glow of a distant town. Just the road, perfectly lit by my headlights, and the dark pressing in on both sides. I tried the radio again around what felt like noon. This time, it came on immediately, and the voice sounded closer, more personal, less like a broadcast, and more like someone sitting next to me, speaking quietly. "You're doing well, Cal. Most of them panic earlier. The ones who panic early are harder to, well, we won't talk about that. You're doing well. Keep the speed steady. The collection window is still open." I said out loud to the radio, "What collection window?" There was a pause, a long one, long enough that I thought it was over. Then, "You'll understand soon. When we've gathered enough, you'll understand everything. It's actually quite elegant. We've been doing this for a long time, since before the highways, since before the roads. You're not the first, Cal, not even close." I turned it off again. This time, it didn't fight me. Day 2, night. I've started seeing things in the rearview mirror. Not the trailer. I know what the trailer looks like. I've looked at it 10,000 times, the flat white rectangle of it filling the mirror, the reflective tape along the sides catching my running lights, the familiar sway of 60,000 pounds in transit. What I'm seeing is further back, past the trailer, in the darkness behind the trailer, right at the edge of where my lights die. Eyes. Not animal eyes. I know animal eyes, the flat green shine of a deer, the quick yellow flash of a coyote. These are higher than that, maybe 8 feet off the ground, and they're not moving the way eyes move when a creature crosses a road. They're just there, steady, keeping pace with me exactly, not falling back, not drawing closer, just maintaining a perfect distance. I sped up to 80, the eyes stayed. I slowed to 50, the eyes stayed, the same distance back, impossibly steady. I haven't looked in the rearview mirror since. Day 3, estimated morning. The radio came on while I was dozing. I'd pulled as far onto the shoulder as I could manage and killed the engine for the first time since Harlan, and I must have slept when I opened my eyes. The speaker was already in the middle of something, and this time it wasn't speaking to me. It was speaking to someone else, multiple people. I could hear other voices beneath the main voice, indistinct like passengers in a bus. The Peterbilt is approaching threshold. Cal Rourke, male, 43, 19 years service, low cortisol variance, good candidate. The threshold window is within the next 40 miles. After threshold, the road closes behind and the collection is complete, and we can begin. I heard underneath that a woman's voice, then a child's, then something that might have been a voice, but the frequency was wrong, too low, vibrating in my chest more than my ears. I started the engine. I didn't know what threshold meant, but I knew I did not want to find out by arriving at it. I turned the truck around. I have never in my career turned an 18 trailer on a 2-lane highway in the dark, but I did it. I took 20 minutes and 3 attempts, and I scraped the shoulder doing it, but I got the truck facing the other direction, and I drove. Hard. Back the way I'd come, back towards Harlan or wherever Harlan had been, back towards the beginning of this. The eyes appeared in my windshield this time, ahead of me. Same height, same impossible steadiness. I drove straight at them. They didn't move. I hit nothing, passed through nothing, felt nothing but the road and the wheel shuddering in my hands. And then the radio said, gently, patiently, with what I can only describe as fondness, "Cal, you can't go backward. That's the elegant part. There is no backward on a collection road. There's only forward into the threshold, or you can keep trying. We have time. We always have time. It's the one thing we have in abundance." Day 3, late. I understand it now. I've had 3 days to think about it. 3 days with no exit, no fuel burning, no time passing, just the road and the dark and that voice returning every few hours with another piece of it. I resisted understanding for a long time. Understanding felt like agreeing, but I'm beyond that now. The road collects people, vehicles specifically, trucks mostly, I think. Something about the long-haul routes, the solitary drivers, the hours of night driving that make a man's attention soft and receptive. It has been doing this for a long time. The voice said since before the roads, and I believe it. I think before the highways it used rivers, before rivers maybe trails. Whatever path a solitary person travels in the dark, alone for hours, suspended between one place and another. The road finds those suspended people and it takes them. The fuel gauge never drops because I'm not burning fuel. I'm not actually moving through space the way I think I am. I'm on a loop, a pocket, something folded into the geography of Route 9 that exists alongside the real Route 9, but is not it. People drive past me out there on the real road, and they don't see me, and I don't see them. I am the fly in amber. The woman's voice I heard, she went through threshold, I think. The child, too. Whatever they are on the other side of threshold, they're still there somehow, still present in the radio, present in the voices underneath the main voice, collected. The voice told me, during what I think was my last conversation with it, that there were hundreds of us, has been hundreds of us, accumulating over decades, all still present, all still somehow in the amber. And the threshold is where I stop being Cal Rourke in a Peterbilt and start being something else, a voice in the static, a passenger. It told me it was almost kind, that I wouldn't suffer, that the collection was almost gentle compared to what early collections had been, back when the road was still learning what it was doing. I asked it what it was. There was a long silence, and then it said, "Hungry. We're very, very hungry, and you're almost here." Day 3, final entry. I can see something ahead. For 3 days, the road has been dark in both directions, just my headlights and the center line and the scrub on both sides. But ahead of me now, there is a light, a greenish light, about the color of the exit signs on real highways, about the shape of one, too. I can't read it yet. I'll be able to read it in a few miles. I don't think it says exit. The radio is on, and it's not saying anything, just a low carrier hum that I can feel in the fillings in the back of my teeth. The GPS is still whispering, recalculating to itself on the dashboard. The fuel gauge hasn't moved. I'm writing this because I need someone to know what happened. I'm writing it in my logbook in block letters in case someone finds the truck after whatever after means here. The sign is close enough to read now. It says, "Threshold, 1 mile, welcome." The eyes are in the mirror again, all of them, not just one pair this time. I'm seeing a dozen pairs, 24 pairs, lined up along both sides of the road behind me, all the same height, all the same steady, inhuman patience. They've been here the whole time, I think, following me the whole time, waiting for this, the ones who went before me. The voice comes on one last time, and this time I recognize something in it I hadn't noticed before, something older than the calm, something underneath the patience, not hunger exactly, not malice, loneliness. 3 days of driving alone in the dark, and maybe that's what it was really offering all along. Not death, not feeding, just company, just more drivers, more voices, more presences in the amber. Because whatever this thing is, it has been out here for a long, long time, and the dark is very large. The sign is passing above me now. Threshold. The road ahead is bright with that green light. I'm not afraid anymore. I don't know what that means. The fuel gauge just dropped for the first time in 3 days. It's moving fast, going toward empty. The road is ending. I'm going through.
If you find this logbook, and I believe you will, I believe the truck will be found on the side of Route 9 with no obvious explanation, the engine cold, the driver simply gone. Please understand that I'm not gone the way you mean when you say gone. I'm still here, in the amber, in the static, in the dark beside the road at night, watching the headlights of the long-haul trucks pass and waiting with great patience for the next driver who misses their exit and finds themselves somewhere that is almost Route 9, but isn't. I will be the voice on the radio. I'll be careful to sound calm. The road has been doing this for a long time, and now I'm part of how it does it. And the only thing I want you to know, the only thing that matters, is that when your dashboard clock stops and your GPS starts recalculating and you haven't seen another car in 4 hours, do not turn the radio on.